Welcome to part 5 of my Rose Bowl analysis with Michigan and Alabama. And today I'm continuing the theme of my last couple of videos where I explored what made Alabama's offensive output different in the second half as opposed to the first. And once again, it's because they ran the ball. So I'm going to analyze the only touchdown drive that Alabama had in the second half. And I'm going to show you why it was very successful and why it was Alabama's best chance of winning the game and honestly having success. So we're going to jump right into it. So it's the third quarter, 3 minutes and 12 seconds here. This drive lasted for about 4 minutes. It was 8 plays, but we're at the second and one on this play. Alabama is in what was their most successful formation of the night, which is 12 personnel. They have one running back and they have 2 tight ends. Running back is Justice Haynes set to the right of Jalen Milroe. They have Kendrick Law as one of the 2 wide receivers motioning across the field, and they have both tight ends set to the right side of the offensive line, and they got a receiver, Isaiah Bond, down at the bottom of the screen. If you notice, Michigan has 5 people on the line of scrimmage. They got 3 big boys like in the middle, and they got one of the linebackers on the left side, and they got number 17, the pass rushing end, on the right side. So what Alabama's going to do is very interesting in how they design this run play, which I got to give Tommy Reed some credit here for how he designed this up. What he's doing is that he's having Kendrick Law motion across, and this is the second or third time that we've seen this in the second half. He didn't do a lot of motion in the first half, where the Michigan defense is now thinking about Alabama's special guy, Kendrick Law, in motion. And so they have to compensate for that. But at the same time, once this ball is snapped, you see both tight ends for Alabama, both 45 and 81 on that right side. They both kick out to the right. It's interesting because if you notice, the running back is running to the left. And so Alabama does something a little tricky here. They have some motion going left. They have some tight ends kicking out right. So Michigan has to decide and figure out which side of the offensive line is this play going on, and how do we determine the appropriate amount of defenders to go on the side of the ball, or guess to see which way to go. And so Alabama makes it look like it might be going to the right, but they also have some guys blocking down on the left. And if you notice, the tight end, number 74, Caden Proctor, is pulling back to help down on one of the big guys in the middle. And you have Kendrick Law and Isaiah Buzz. Kendrick Law is blocking 17, who is on the edge. And what that means now is that you have Kendrick Law sealing off the edge. You have Caden Proctor in the left guard sealing off the interior rusher. So that leaves a gap for Justice Haynes to take on the left side line of scrimmage, because he's running on the left side. And then you see the big right guard, number 77 from Alabama, who pulled out up the field, and he's coming up to stop number 15, but Justice Haynes ends up taking it to the outside, since Kendrick Law did such a good job blocking on that defensive end, and he takes it to the outside for a 9-yard gain. And that's really well designed and nice mismatching and kind of getting the Michigan defense's eyes in different places, and that allows for Alabama to execute really well on this run play. Now, the crazy part is that, if you notice, I got to give Michigan some credit here. Look at the defensive line in the interior. The center and the right guard, they had a little trouble here. Number 94 could just kind of like pushes in. I would say right guard, but really right guard had pulled out. Like I said before, that was the right tackle, number 65. 94 had got him, just kind of got skinny a little bit, put the shoulder down, and was able to kind of knife through a little bit. He almost was able to blow up this play, but Justice Haynes has some good footwork and is able to get to the outside. The left guard is able to handle number 99 a little bit, along with the help of Caden Proctor, and that did produce this 9-yard run. So as I mentioned in the previous couple of videos, Alabama had a lot of success running the ball versus Michigan in the second half, and I feel like that didn't get talked about enough, because if Alabama was able to continue to do this, who knows how this game would have turned out. But what's interesting is that Michigan did not have a good answer for Alabama running the ball. So with that said, let's go to the next play, which I'm going to show you. So I think Alabama may have called 2 passing plays on this drive. This is one of them, but funny enough, it did not go for a pass, because it was a play action pass, which makes sense. You've been running the ball successfully in the second half, even though you don't have points to show for it. Because I said it before, the opening drive of the second half, Alabama messed it up. They had another drive a little later, they messed it up. And so here they are, right? And they're like, okay, we've been running the ball. Michigan is once again got 5 people on the scrimmage. So Michigan's thinking like, okay, Alabama is starting to run, so we need to commit some more people down front, and it still didn't work. Alabama's still in 12 personnel. This time they have the tight end 45 motioning out to the H-back-like position behind the right tackle. And this is 1st and 10, 2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third quarter. They had like I said, 12 personnel, running back set to the left of Jalen Milroe this time. The other tight end, Dupree, is to the left of the left tackle, number 81, and you got the wide receivers on opposite sides of the line of scrimmage. Alabama's going to snap this ball, right? And Michigan is actually going to bring 6. Well, they make it look like they're going to bring 6. Number 32, the linebacker on the right side of the defense or the left side of the Alabama offense. He's stepping forward, but he moves back while they bring the DB number 12 off the edge. And you see that there's actually a lot of pressure already that gets inside, and that actually disrupts the timing of this play, and Jalen Milroe has to scramble. But what I want you to notice first is that look at the interior offensive line. This is why Jalen Milroe couldn't hang in the pocket here. Is that you got number 99 and 94 out. Those two interior defensive linemen from Michigan are very, very good. I wouldn't be surprised to see them playing in the NFL for sure. I actually really like what they did in this game. But number 99, just he blows up Trevor Booker, number 52 for Alabama, the left guard, really easily and gets in the backfield. Like it was kind of sad. Like he just could not handle him. Like that guy is big and strong and took him out. Funny enough, he won the matchup in the previous play. So this was a good battle between those two in this game. And then you have the DB number 12 rushing off the edge. So he has to 65, the right tackle has to push him up the field, but also Jalen Milroe is backing up because he has to get away from 99 who comes right through the middle. So this wasn't a situation where Jalen Milroe could step up and get through the pressure. So he has to escape here because the pressure's already there. So Jalen Milroe, of course, steps up and evades that tackle from 99, which is great, good use of athleticism. Look at the way he kind of knifes through the traffic here and is able to run and get close to a first down. This was really good instincts from Jalen Milroe. Great job of scrambling. So this was a call pass, but the best play was a run. And I think Alabama went with the pass here because they see that Michigan's creeping up. Like I said, they have 5 people on the line of scrimmage. They have the 2 linebackers right behind them. So Michigan has 7 people in the box. And they're blitzing. So they basically have 8 people in the box on this play. So there's like 3 to 4 people in the secondary. So Alabama play action pass has a good chance of being successful, even though it's 3-on-2. The problem is that Michigan actually does a great job of getting in the backfield here. What I think what's great about it though is that, you know, even though Jalen didn't have time to hit Justice Haynes on the check down here, because by the time Justice Haynes is getting out of the pocket, Jalen Milroe already has to evade number 99 here. Jalen is able to run past 55, run past both linebackers, and just kind of run through number 25. We're basically about a 9 to 10 yard gain on this play. And this was the type of thing that Jalen is able to do when his pocket isn't collapsing, and he just has to make a guy or two miss. So this was a really good made up play from Alabama, as even though the play action pass didn't work out because of pass protection, Jalen was able to scramble. So now we're going to go to a play that comes up just a little bit after that. This is still the same drive. This is at the start of the fourth quarter. Now Alabama ran about 2 or 3 plays since then. And what Alabama's going to do is basically a design quarterback power for Jalen Milroe, which this play worked a couple times throughout the year for Alabama. I said a couple times, a little bit more than that, but they didn't call this pretty consistently. So this is the start of the fourth quarter, 15 minutes left, 2nd and 15 here, and Alabama is in that. Well, actually, in this case, I want to say that this is 22 or maybe even 21. It's hard to say. Yeah, I think it's 20. Who's that on that left side? I think that's still the tight end, because I think they have they move Caden Proctor, the left tackle, to the right side, and he's on the so the left tackle is now on the right of the right tackle, number 65, and then I see 77 next to him in the center and Trevor Booker. So yeah, so Alabama's actually in 22 personnel on this play, which is 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. The 2 tight ends are on the left side of the line of scrimmage next to the left guard, and they have both tackles. 2 big guys, 2 big guys on the right side of the line of scrimmage. So most likely Alabama's going to run the ball on this 2nd 15, which they do, as you see, but 2 running backs in the backfield. But neither one are going to get the ball. So basically they have everybody blocking from Jalen Milroe on this play. Michigan once again. So Michigan knows that and this is how you know that Alabama's having success running the ball. So for those who may be skeptical, maybe you didn't see the other 2 or 3 videos where I kind of showed this, Alabama was having a lot of success running the ball, even though they weren't getting touchdowns, and that a lot of that was their fault, although Michigan's defense definitely contributed to that. Michigan has adjusted how they're playing defense. In the first half, they didn't necessarily have all those guys on the line of scrimmage the whole time. Like, even though they kind of used that in the blitz formation, they're trying to do this now to put bodies up front to stop the run. And they were having a lot of trouble, and it's unsuccessful here too. They got 5 people on the line of scrimmage. The big guys are in there, but Alabama's finding a way to kind of scheme their way through it. So at the snap, Jalen Milroe's going to take the snap here. He's going to fake it to Jace McClellan, which is nice. So this is the setup to get Michigan's defense moving to the right, because Alabama's been having success running the ball. So now you got 4 guys, number 8, number 23, who is that? 28, one of those, 28, and number 2, Will Johnson. All are looking at the Jace McClellan part of this run at the start. And then, of course, you got the other running back moving forward. That's not even a running back. It's 22 personnel because Kendrick Law is basically in a running back-like position, even though he's a wide receiver. But Kendrick Law was the one that was set right of Jalen Milroe, but he moves up the block immediately. And what's crazy is that before I even get into what Jalen Milroe did while running, I mean, look at the Michigan defensive line again. I got to give them credit once again. I think that's number 94. Yes, that 94. And to be fair, the tight end kind of is just giving a little help to the center, Seth McLaughlin here. But he just kind of runs right through it with ease, basically. They don't really impede him that much. And luckily for Alabama, Jalen Milroe is quick enough to get through there, and Trevor Booker, number 52, who pulled at this play. So they pulled him from that left guard side. He comes over and he meets the DB in the hole. The tight end, who also pulled, number 45, Oots, is up in the hole, and he gets the DB coming from the other side. Jalen Milroe is able to just run right past number 23. So it seems like the Michigan defensive backs and the linebackers here are kind of getting tired. Alabama's been running the ball. Their guys are heavy. They've been leaning on. They've been blocking them up the field. And Michigan's having a hard time actually adjusting to this. And so Jalen Milroe was running right past him. 74, the left tackle, who's right next to the right tackle, is up the field on number 25. Jalen runs through a safety and Will Johnson and gets the ball down to like the 3-yard line. This was just power on power, man on man football. This, for a lot of Alabama fans, they were like, oh man, this reminds me of the early late 2000s Alabama dynasty with Nick Saban, with how Alabama ran the ball here. Obviously a different spin on it out of the spread, 22 personnel, but still heavy and just running right at the Michigan defense, saying we can beat your guys by just straight up leaning on them and pushing people out of the way with our very athletic and fast quarterback who hasn't had time to throw the ball today. But when we can make some space for him, we'll just let him run right on through. And this was a really well-designed, well-executed play. Like I said, I think Alabama had to switch some things up and do it a little bit differently. Michigan was having success just running through. So Alabama said, let's not let that speed and athleticism get through the pocket and destroy our quarterback all day. Let's try to run past it by powering through. Alabama said we're going to meet that speed by busting through it, which is really interesting. So like I said, I like this design. Both of the tackles on the right side line of scrimmage, both of the tight ends on the left side of the line of scrimmage, 2 running backs. Kendrick Law is basically playing a running back here, and you have the running back. So not only are you going to go heavy and put a tackle on the right side, you're going to fake the ball to the running back and pull 2 blockers. This is really good play design. I like what Alabama did here. This worked really well. So good play to get in the red zone. And this last play that I'm going to show you is the touchdown run on this play. In between all this time, I remember I told you Alabama ran 8 plays on this drive. And basically, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but I think it was only 2 called passes. One was a completed pass to Isaiah Bond for 8 yards. The second was that play action pass that I showed you on the previous play. But other than that, Alabama ran the ball basically 6 times on the 8-play drive. So here's the last play. It's simple because it's Jason McClellan in the red zone, 3 yards out. Alabama is doing that same formation. So I don't think I realized this in the game, but a little bit differently. But they are, in terms of the same formation, they have both tackles on the right side of the line of scrimmage again. So they have number 65 and they have Caden Proctor, the left tackle, who is next to 65 on the right side. And they go even heavier. They put one of the tight ends in this 12 personnel package here. So there's not 22 anymore. This is 12. On that right side, Oots is right behind the left tackle on the right side, playing like an H-back position. The other tight end, Dupree, is to the left of Trevor Booker on that left side. And Michigan has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. I mean, to be fair, it's the red zone, but 7 people who are within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. So they know the run is coming. and they still were not able to stop it. Alabama runs to the strong side here, so is there the pistol formation? Jalen Milroe takes that snap, turns around, just hands it to Jason McCullough. And the cool thing about this play is that out of all the plays on this drive, this was the first time that Alabama actually got a hat on everybody and nobody blew up the play. Like on the previous plays, the big guys in the middle or somebody kind of running through just kind of messed up the play, or at least the blocking a little bit. On this one, Alabama just got a block on everybody. Everybody got their guy. The only person who could have stopped Jason McClellan here was the number 20, what's that, 28? Yeah, I think it was number 28. And he kind of trips over his guy a little bit as he goes to move to the outside. But I think Jason McClellan runs through him or beats him to the outside regardless. And that's a touchdown run for Alabama. Really well executed play. The design was cool because, you know, you move the guy over and you're using your tight ends creatively. But the fact that everybody got a block on a block, not a lot of misdirection, just get your guy and beat them. That's a touchdown run for Alabama in the early part of the fourth quarter. What's crazy is that Alabama, this was the only touchdown they had the whole second half, which is crazy because remember I told you in the opening drive of the second half, they were moving the ball well, running the ball. They had that illegal substitution. It put them behind the sticks. They had to throw the ball a couple times. Jalen Milroe gets sacked. Drive is over. I think either a drive after this one or like before this drive started, they kind of had a very similar thing to happen where they were moving the ball, running the ball, and then 2 low snaps in a row pushed Alabama back to like 3rd and 20 something. And of course they don't convert that and have to punt the ball away. But in all of those drives I've shown you in the second half against Michigan, Alabama was able to run the ball with consistency and was getting big yards, like 10, 15, 9-yard gains with most of the runs. That type of thing you don't get consistently unless you figured out something and you've adjusted well. And Alabama's probably going to look back at the tape and realize we left something on the field. Now, like I said, that whole time, though, this is what makes football so great. It's not always about, oh, just one team is just messing up and the other team, you know, if they had to just clean up those mistakes, they would have beat them. All that time, Michigan wasn't playing bad defense. So I don't say that to say that, oh, Alabama just would have won if they were able to do all these things. It's just that execution does matter. And the Michigan defense, even in these plays where Alabama was having success, you saw 94 and 99 beating the left guard, beating the center, like beating Alabama's players like up the middle, forcing Alabama to have to execute in different ways, and Tommy Rees and the offensive coordinator to adjust. So it's those type of things that make football fun, and I wish that more and more people can appreciate that. So thank you for watching this part 5 of the Rose Bowl analysis. Part 6 will be coming out soon. It might even, I'll try not to put it out during the actual national championship game, which reminds me, I need to hurry up because I have like 2 more videos, maybe even 3 on this one, and I haven't even the national championship is about to start. So with all that said, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Leave a comment, let me know what you think.